We talk a lot about the problems our planet is facing, right? And, one of the biggest has got to be extinction. I mean, it's a huge problem.
It is.
And today we're taking a deep dive into this company called Colossal that's doing some pretty out there stuff. It's called De-Extinction.
Right.
You sent over some really interesting stuff from their website, and I'm interested to see what exactly they're doing. Which species are they focusing on? What's the bigger picture here? What does it all mean?
Yeah, it's pretty alarming, the scale of the diversity loss that we're seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's kind of shocking, actually. Leading scientists estimate something like 30,000 species are going extinct each year.
Wow.
And organizations like the World Animal Foundation predict that we could lose up to half of all species by 2050.
Half.
Yeah.
That's hard to even imagine.
Yeah, I know.
And the UN has even said that 1 million animal and plant species are threatened right now.
It's a pretty stark picture.
It is. And think about what that means for entire ecosystems, right?
Right.
I mean, we already know that we've seen a 20% decline in native species in most land habitats just since 1900.
Right.
And it's not just one specific type of animal or plant either. We're talking over 40% of amphibians, a third of reef-forming corals, more than a third of all marine mammals. So that's where this idea of de-extinction comes in. And this is what Colossal is all about. They're basically trying to use all this cutting-edge gene editing technology to not just, remember these species that are gone, but to actually, rebuild their DNA.
Exactly.
I mean, bring back these creatures. A lot of them are what we would call megafauna that were really important parts of their ecosystem.
Exactly.
So, okay, so how are they actually doing this?
Right.
What's their strategy?
The way they explain it is combining the science of genetics with the business of discovery to jumpstart nature's ancestral heartbeat.
I like that. Jumpstart nature's ancestral heartbeat. That's a really cool way of putting it.
Yeah, it really is.
So let's talk about the woolly mammoth because, I mean, that's kind of their,
That's the one everybody knows, right?
the
Yeah.
flagship. Everyone knows about that one. So they've managed to get actual DNA samples, right? Like viable DNA.
Right.
And they're working on actually editing genes to be able to put a mammoth back in the Arctic.
That's the idea.
I mean, that just blows my mind what are the steps involved in something like that?
Well, so the way it works is first they have to obtain, well-preserved DNA from the extinct species, and then they compare that genetic information to the DNA of its closest living relative,
Oh, okay. So,
which in this case would be the Asian elephant.
okay.
And so by identifying what the key genetic differences are, like a mammoth's thick fur and the subcutaneous fat it has, they can then use gene editing tools
Like what kind of tools?
like CRISPR
Okay.
to actually alter the elephant's DNA.
Wow.
Now, the goal isn't to create an exact replica, but to make an animal that's functionally similar and that could survive in the Arctic environment.
Wow. That is it's incredible. So we talked about the mammoth, but they've also got, I mean, on their website, they list other species too, right? They've got the thylacine.
The thylacine, the dodo,
Yeah.
the dire wolf.
And each of those has a different, story to tell about its role in the ecosystem too, right?
Right. So the thylacine, for example, was this marsupial predator.
Okay.
You're in Tasmania.
Wow.
And the dodo, of course, is kind of the poster child for extinction caused by humans.
Right.
And the dire wolf was an important part of the ecosystem in North America during the Pleistocene.
And each one of those is its own challenge too, right? In terms of getting the DNA, understanding how their genes made them adapted to their environments.
Well, that's right, because the availability of DNA, the quality of it, varies between species.
Oh.
So yeah, they're all unique challenges.
So who's behind all of this? I mean, this is some pretty major science we're talking about. You've got Ben Lamb, he's the founder and CEO, and then there's Dr. George Church, he's a founder too. And I mean, anyone who knows anything about genetics knows that George Church is he's the guy.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah.
He's done a ton of work in genomics and synthetic biology.
Yeah.
So, I mean, him being involved gives Colossal a lot of credibility.
Yeah, it definitely does. And Ben Lamb, he brings that business side of things too, the entrepreneurial vision. But what's interesting is that this isn't just a lab. I mean, they're not just doing research. They seem to have a much bigger idea of what they're trying to accomplish.
It's a mission, yeah.
It's not just, oh, wouldn't it be cool to bring back these animals? It's how can we use this technology to actually help the planet for future generations.
Yeah, and they actually put together this incredible scientific advisory board. They've got experts in all these different fields, not just science. I mean, you've got Alta Charo. She's a legal expert and also bioethics. You've got Dr. Carolyn Bertanzi. She won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. And there's Dr. Matthew Liao. He works on ethics and public policy. And Dr. Helen Hobbs, she's a top expert in cardiovascular genetics.
Yeah.
So it's a really impressive group of people.
And they really seem to believe in what Colossal is doing, too.
Yeah, like Dr. Beth Shapiro, she's Colossal's chief science officer.
Oh, okay.
She said, Colossal represents the intersection of cutting-edge science and entrepreneurial discovery that enacts real change.
I mean, that's it, right? That's that mix of innovation and action. They're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it.
Yeah, and Dr. Joseph M. DeSimone, he points out that this isn't just about bringing back extinct species.
Okay.
I mean, it's a huge part of it, but it's also inspiring new research, thinking about sustainability, for plants and animals,
Mm-hmm.
and even, coming up with better ways to diagnose diseases and treat them. I mean, it's about combining different fields of science.
And that's such a good point because you're talking about taking this technology and applying it to all these other areas.
Right.
It's not just looking back, it's pushing forward.
Yeah.
And then there's Dr. Chris Mason. He says Colossal's work is a powerful, needed leap in genetic engineering. Like he's saying, this is the future, being able to restore and preserve life forms, maybe even like beyond Earth.
Right. It's a really forward-thinking perspective.
It is.
It's not just about this current extinction crisis, but where genetic science can go in the future.
Exactly. And he also talks about how it's so important to have everyone working together, scientists, ethicists, engineers, everyone.
Yeah, it's got to be collaborative.
It does. And Colossal really emphasizes this whole idea of for a better world. They're saying we all have a responsibility to think about the impact that industries and agriculture have had on the planet, in the long term.
It's a call to action, right?
It is. Like, we have to work together. They use this word rewilding, which I like, because they're going beyond just traditional conservation. I mean, they've got these big goals. They want to help the planet. They want to help these animals themselves, and they want to, change the future, bring back what we've lost or what's in danger of being lost.
It's really about evolving, for the future.
It is. And they really emphasize working with other conservation organizations too, right?
Right.
They see this genetic work as part of a bigger effort to protect endangered species.
Right.
So it's not do this or do that. It's like, let's do it all.
Yeah, exactly. It's all
Yeah.
connected. I mean, the things they learned from bringing back extinct species can help us save endangered ones too.
Right.
Like all those advances in genetics and reproductive technology, they can help protect species that are in trouble right now.
And they're definitely getting people's attention. I mean, we've seen a ton of news stories about them bringing back the dodo.
Which is such a powerful symbol, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Of how humans have caused extinction.
Yeah. And also all the work they're doing with woolly mammoth hybrids. I mean, it captures the imagination, right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a fascinating story.
So wrapping up here, Colossal is taking on a really, really big challenge. They're using this incredible new technology and this whole idea of de-extinction to try and fix this massive problem of extinction. And they're not just trying to turn back time.
Right.
They want to use these tools to make a real difference for ecosystems and move genetic science forward in ways that we can't even imagine right now.
And it's this really interesting mix of science, ambitious conservation goals, and just this, drive to create something new.
It is. It really is.
Right.
So I'll leave you with this thought. We're seeing so many species disappear, and companies like Colossal are coming up with these innovative but complicated solutions. So when we think about this idea of jumpstarting nature's ancestral heartbeat, what are the things we need to consider? What are the ecological implications? I mean, this is a big topic, and hopefully this deep dive has given you a better understanding of what Colossal is all about and what it could mean for the future.
Yeah, I think it has.
There's a lot to think about here.
There is.